The new Warzone game mode is so much fun, and I'm not sure why, but one of my buddies just has an innate talent when it comes to using turrets on vehicles. It's the same way in Halo, he's just good with them, and because of that, we were able to get some pretty good clips. And I also had two people telling me that what really drew them to my channel was when I was using the crossbow and knife in Warzone, so I figured I'd kind of mix that together and use those in this game mode too, and it actually went pretty well a couple of times. But these first couple of clips are from the first game we played, and right now we're just chasing a guy down, and I thought it was funny that his teammate tried to land like on top of us and just ran him over there. It's actually a lot of fun whenever you're chasing down the enemy's truck, because for me it kind of feels like a modern day pirate game because I'm trying to board them and knife them the whole time. I thought this part was funny because it admittedly took me way too long to realize I could just press A and get on the turret, but it also took this guy a long time to realize that I could do that and that he was actually in danger too. But it worked out because I needed to perfect my parking so our truck got repaired anyways. My buddy was giving me shit here because I guess when I drove up the hill he couldn't aim far enough down to shoot at the truck, but I was just yelling to shoot the truck, so he was just calling me an idiot. And in this game mode, I have honestly no idea why people try to jump out like when you're behind them. I don't see how they think that's gonna work out whenever they're in an open road and there's literally no cover. But it works out for me because, I mean, technically, I'm not shooting with the turret truck, I'm meleeing because I'm hitting them instead. We felt kind of bad here because we had driven off to destroy that truck and we had kind of not really thought about our teammates and we ended up leaving them and they got murked because of it. But I mean, we got revenge for them, so I think it's okay. And you can see here, I'm really not used to aiming with the turret. I don't know if they have it where it's more sensitive than usual weapons, but I'm pretty much just flailing around for a couple of seconds there. I was kind of panicking here because it looked like we were about to get overrun, and my buddy just told me to drive off. As long as the truck was okay, we could spawn back. So I did that, but I immediately thought afterwards, you know what, I can probably take them because I'm an idiot, and I just assumed I could take an entire squad and an armored truck with my knives. But to be fair, I think I actually almost did it. I mean, you'll see here what happens. Because I had lost sight of the truck for a second, but then it just come barreling in and ran over my friend. So I jump out, managed to get on their truck, get that guy, and then for some reason, some of the knives don't register there. Like, I think the first one should have hit, but since it didn't, I got murked. But here in the next game, I pulled off a pretty cool kill. I was kind of proud of this. And here you can see what I mean. I don't know why, but I was just kind of impressed by the fact that my buddy was able to just absolutely laser this guy on that turret. Because, I mean, it does have a fair amount of recoil, honestly. But honestly, it could be that I'm just kind of bad with it. But regardless, I had to make sure I parallel parked into each of these guys' skulls. This was our second game, so I hadn't really been able to get my crossbow class yet. So I was okay with using a gun to at least destroy the vehicle and getting the guy out of the turret. And I just thought it kind of looked cool because we're just, like, mowing it down right now. Like, I kind of felt like those old videos you would see with, like, the gangsters using, like, a Tommy gun just to unload on, like, an old car and shit. But it was funny because that entire time we didn't know that there had been a teammate hiding on the roof until he did that, and I just cut out and just killed him with the RPG I picked up from his dead teammates. Unfortunately, after that, I got picked off by a sniper at one point because, again, I got out like an idiot and tried to board their vehicle. And sadly, my buddy could not outrun the zone even after I was yelling at him to drop one of his weapons, and he just could not figure out how to do it for the first 15 seconds. But that was okay because I was able to get back at him for messing with me earlier for not being able to drive straight. And then here you can see my first instinct once again is to go fisticuffs against the vehicle. Except this time I did bring an explosive crossbow and it worked out pretty well for me. This first shot was pretty easy, he didn't even see me, but the second one I was pretty proud of because I was able to get the guy straight out of that turret. But then the driver just cuts his losses and leaves, so we had to end up chasing that down. But I'm kind of confused because they only parked like 5 feet away, so I don't see why they even tried to drive off. And once again, I decide that obviously the crossbow is much stronger against vehicles than a 50 cal turret, but thankfully I brought a rocket launcher just in case. And then I saw that guy sitting in the Warthog, so I decided to hit him with the plasma grenade. Actually, that might be the wrong game. But regardless, I was determined to finish this thing off with the crossbow, so after hitting it one more time with the rocket, I switched to the crossbow and hit it again. And thankfully, that does the trick. I was honestly surprised these guys didn't try to shoot at us first, but since they didn't, we assumed that they were probably a little bit weak right now, so we decided to engage them. And I'm really happy this guy decided to turn left because it made it a lot more fun racing through the city while trying to catch them. With all the roadblocks and things that were set up, it felt like a Battlefield game for a little bit there. And honestly, just seeing the rounds go back and forth between us while driving through these turns just looked really cool to me. It was cool because here my buddy managed to pick off their turret, so I finished him off. And then when they finally stop, I once again decide the crossbow's the best bet. So I first get the guy that's trying to run away to the building, and then I pop the truck one time, and that's really all it needed. This was later on in the game. We once again found ourselves chasing another vehicle through the city, but this time we had rushed him pretty hard, and he was trying to back away for his dear life, and it was pretty funny watching him drive backwards through the alleys while we're chasing him. It just looked super cinematic to me, just seeing him try to do everything he could to avoid us. But when he finally calls it quits and decides to jump out, my buddy finishes off the truck first. And I'm not sure if this guy was AFK or if he thought we couldn't see him, but I think he was just laying in the street. I think he might have just accepted his fate, and we just finished him off. I just was confused, because, I mean, that takes some balls, just going AFK in the middle of a fight. I mean, that's a Chad move. Speaking of ballsy plays, this guy thought his Jeep Wrangler could take on our 50 cal turret truck, and, I mean, honestly, I gotta respect his effort, you know? And once this guy was dead, there's only 2 squads left, so we knew they were in the building because we didn't see their vehicle on the mini-map or anything anywhere. So I decided to finally pick up a weapon because I had died before, so I didn't have my crossbow or swords handy. We were actually having a pretty good game, so we really wanted to win this one. And at first I felt bad because I had forgotten about how good the shotguns were in Warzone, and it just felt kind of cheap. But then I remembered all the times that I've gotten massacred with a shotgun, and I thought, get wrecked.